little piece of Freedom Rock was fun to record using this crazy cool pedal. It is from my friends at Bliss Audio, the Preamp Mark II Automaton. Incredible sounding preamp pedal that's got flying faders. How amazing is that? This preamp started as a collaboration between Benson Amplifiers and the Chase Bliss guys. I guess they're all friends up there in the kind of Pacific Northwest. And Benson Amps had made this really cool pedal. They've got an amp called a Chimera that is like a, boutique kind of really cool tube head. And what Mr. Benson decided to do was try and miniaturize that amplifier down into pedal form. He replaced the tubes with FETs. And that enabled him to make a really cool preamp pedal, basically, but out of that amplifier circuit. And that's a really highly regarded pedal. I've never had a chance to try one, but I guess I have now, because they took that pedal and basically used that as the basis for that preamp circuit. And then they added a bunch more really cool features, like, for example, the moving faders. So there's obviously presets in this pedal. There's 3 banks, and there's 10 presets per bank, so 30 presets total. So the actual sliders on the pedal are volume, treble, mids, mid-frequency, bass, and gain. And any one of these sliders can also be assigned to expression. So that's actually what I'm doing right now. I've got the volume and gain sliders assigned to an expression pedal that I'm rocking from the heel to the toe right now. And you can see what happens. It's super cool because you can do things like automate the amount of gain or overdrive that you've got going in your sound, or say automate the volume. So if you want to like boost the front end of your amp and kick the tubes harder, you can do that all on the fly. One of the other things I did in the track at the beginning of the video that I think was really cool is automate the mid frequency. And if you do that and you've got the mid Q set narrow, more on that in a second, you get an effect just like a wah, essentially. I would say the core sound of it, like the drive sound, is like a really great cranked up tube amp. Anywhere from kind of clean boost or colored boost through to cranked up mid-gain tube amp. You can't get like super metal, like scooped distortion with this pedal really, but it'll go all the way up to kind of JCM 800, crunchy. And I can show you that in a little bit here. All that gain range. But on top of the overdrive, what you can do is put fuzz, and the fuzz sounds just terrific. So it's got a fuzz circuit that is defeatable, basically, and you can select either germanium or silicon style fuzz. And there's 2 different fuzz settings, a gated, really spitty setting, or a much more open kind of, fuzz face-ish sort of sound. And then all the different levels of overdrive and the way you can tune it in with the EQ, it's just super versatile. I mean, you may be able to replace like 3 or 4 pedals on your board with this. I would say a clean boost, an overdrive, an ampy style drive, and a fuzz. So although it's not inexpensive, it does a lot. And it does it in style, man. It sounds great. I mean, that sound that I got with my Strat on the opening chords of the song, that's just a killer guitar sound, I think. I was really, really pleased with that. That was with the fuzz off and everything in the mid circuit not even switched in. That's just this kind of the straight up low gain ampy overdrive sound that this thing makes. So what else? With the mid-range circuit, you can defeat it. That's what I did on those rhythm guitar parts. Actually, I had the mids not switched in, so it was just the treble bass and the gain basically working. And when you switch the mids in, you can pick the mid frequency, and you can pick whether the mids come either pre or post drive. So that allows for some really cool tonal shaping options. That's pretty much it. I just want to get to sound examples now. I'll solo some of those parts from the song outside of the mix, and I'm also going to give you some more playing examples. I'll detail how I did the wah thing and some other stuff as well. Let's take a listen. Here we go. It is the Preamp Mark II from Chase Bliss. What I did on the 335 rhythm track is when I went into the kind of the middle solo section of the song, I wanted to get a little more distortion going for the palm mutes, but I didn't really want to get loud or anything. So I only tied the gain to the expression pedal. So this is the main tone here. Okay, so that was kind of the main rhythm guitar sound. I wanted the notes to ring nice and clear. I didn't want too much overdrive. But then when I get into the palm mutes, check this out. So it just becomes really easy to dynamically control that gain, and I could get exactly what I wanted. You know when you've got an overdrive pedal and you're like, well, for this part I wish it had a little more gain or a little less gain or whatever, or maybe like you would normally control that from your guitar output, but it's like almost like a different sound varying the gain on the pedal than it is the volume going into the pedal. And also just to have it on your foot so that you can roll it back and forward to keep your hands on the strings while you're actually playing is really, really cool. Okay, so as I did in part of the song, one of the cool kind of unique uses that you can use the preamp for is as a fuzz wah by automating the middle fader here. By setting it to kind of a narrow bandwidth, this is the mid frequency select fader. By setting it to kind of a narrow bandwidth, you can kind of, duplicate what a wah does essentially, which is kind of a narrow peak that boosts throughout the range as you move the pedal. So that's exactly what I'm doing. But with the fuzz on, I've got it in the germanium mode right now. What's really cool is you get that kind of germanium or fuzz impedance rollback character, so you can clean up the fuzz. So it's pretty cool. If I've got the volume down on the guitar, that's pretty neat. But then I can roll the volume all the way up on the guitar. Okay, and you can totally do the same thing with the pedal, just using it as a fuzz, with the mids turned off, actually. And right now I've got it, I think, in the silicon setting, but the pedal's off right now. And turning it on. And rolling down the volume on the guitar. Thanks for watching my video on this super cool pedal from the folks at Chase Bliss and Benson Amps. Great collaboration. This thing's really amazing. I mean, not only does it sound fantastic, but it's just super cool to look at. I mean, it's a great thing to have. What a conversation piece on your board, right? And yes, it's not inexpensive, that's for sure, but I would say this is a hell of an engineering feat. I mean, the flying faders and just the way it's all put together, I mean, it's really beautiful. This took some work. It's a high-end piece of gear. It sounds like it looks like it, and it performs like it. And you might be able to replace 3 or 4 pedals on your board with this, so at that point it becomes a little more cost-effective, I think. It's a great thing to consider. You can check it out further at the website that you see down there in the video description below. Click there, it'll take you all the information that you want to know, possibly, about the Preamp Mark II automaton pedal from the nice folks at Chase Bliss and Benson Amplifiers. Please hit subscribe if you haven't. Hit the bell beside the subscribe. You'll get an alert every time I put out a new video, and come back and see me for more videos real soon. I'm Pete Thorn. Take care. Over now.